Welcome folks to another video of Andy Smith's YouTube channel. Today I'm just going to be going over to do a little bit of shopping again to get some fruit for later on, and I'll keep you informed of other things on the way. But welcome and enjoy the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just thought I'd take up a subject which is quite a delicate subject between a lot of people in all over the world, and I'd like to talk about what does the Bible actually say about racism. Now, racism is about making quick judgments on the characteristics of a race to rate them as inferior or superior, demonstrating particular or bias. Racism is a problem we can't ignore or run away from, which we all agree, and it's an issue today, and it was an issue throughout history, including when the Bible was written. We can't argue with that. There was a story in the Bible of racism. Paul, one of the early church leaders, wrote about divisions caused by racism. In the 1st century AD, it was common to assign different values to different races and ethnicities. Foreigners, women and children were generally regarded as property owned by the male heads of households and local rulers. Foreigners would often be employed in bonded labour, enslaved to pay off debts. Like Jesus mentioned in Matthew chapter 18 verses 21 through to 35, making it difficult or impossible to live freely. At the time, one of our primary divisions in the church was between Jews and Gentiles. Some Jews who had joined the movement of Christianity were trying to force non-Jewish Gentile believers to perform the Jewish rituals. They argued, and to be a good Christian, they had to do all the right Jewish religious activities too. Rather than telling Christians to ignore the discrimination against Gentiles, Paul addressed it head on. There is no difference between Jew and Gentile. The same Lord is the Lord of all, and richly blessings all who call on him. Romans chapter 10 verse 12. We see the echoed later when Philip, also a leader of the church, helps an Ethiopian understand part of the Bible, begin following Jesus, and that's in Acts chapter 8 verses 26 through to 40. Now, other people don't determine our value, but God does. Right, next part. Now, what does the Bible say about race and favoritism? Well, God cares how we treat each other because we are all created in His image. And that's in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. He makes no distinction between the inherent value of one race or efficiency over another. Now, God cares about people regardless of their ethnic, nationality or social status. That's in Deuteronomy chapter 10 verses 17 through to 19. Now, God does not show favoritism, but accepts from every nation the one who fears him and does what is right. And that's in Acts chapter 10 verse 34 through to verse 35. Now we were all baptized by one Spirit, so as to form one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 13. If you show favoritism, you sin and are convicted by the law as lawbreakers. That's in James chapter 2 verse 9. About the age to come, we see a heavenly picture, a great multitude that no one could number, from every nation, from all tribes and peoples and languages, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. Revelations chapter 7 verse 9 and 10. Jesus removes hostility and introduces harmony, and that is in Ephesians chapter 2 verse 14 through to 18. Now God isn't about separation, but in conclusion and unity, Jesus made it possible for anyone to be included in the people and promise of God. That's in Galatians chapter 3 verse 28. Now, with all this going on at the moment, there is a need to reconciliation. You know, the Bible states why reconciliation is critical. That the good news, the gospel, doesn't just mean that we are brought near to God. It also means we are brought near to the people we once considered so different from ourselves. And that's in Ephesians chapter 2 verse 13. God restores our relationship with people and groups we've mistreated. That's called reconciliation. The removal of prejudice and restoration of relationship to healthy understanding and appreciation for each other. God is a reconciling God. The gospel is, at one core, a message of reconciliation. God brings peace where there was once strife, and kindness where there was once animosity. He's done it with us, and He can do it between us and our neighbours, whether black, whether white, Latino or otherwise. Now, if we belong to Jesus, we are part of His movement to bring more reconciliation between people and God. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verses 18 through to 20. As His representatives, we have the opportunity to share how the life-changing message of the gospel creates a healthy relationship with God and healthy relationships between people, no matter who they are. Your job, my job, as we learn to follow Jesus step by step, includes reconciliation, because the message of Jesus is that we all belong with God. Together, no separation, no difference in status or worth. Now, what beautiful message is that the Bible promotes love, reconciliation between, doesn't matter if you're black, white, Latino or otherwise. What a beautiful message to stop racism. So again, thank you for listening to my channel. Remember, a lot of this video has actually been taken from text from the mouth of people who have written on the internet. It's mostly their opinion, and I believe it to be true. God has made us all the same, we all believe the same, and there's no need for racism in this day and age. But anyway, thank you for listening. Look forward to the next video, and take care, be safe, and God bless you. Ciao.
And that's all, folks.